A typical day in Japan. Kori, a woman whose life reflects devotion in its simplest form. She is not portrayed as extraordinary in a dramatic sense, but rather in a deeply human way, someone who finds meaning in routine, care, and emotional presence. Kori's marriage to Toru appears stable on the surface. Toru is diligent, responsible, and committed to providing for his family. His work requires frequent business trips, and while these absences are not framed as failures, they naturally create emotional distance. The film treats this reality with balance and respect. It does not assign blame or exaggerate conflict. Instead, it carefully shows how distance, even when unavoidable, can quietly affect the inner world of someone who stays behind. Kori feels lonely at times, yet she consistently chooses empathy over resentment, understanding over complaint. Kori does not voice her loneliness openly, nor does the film dramatize it excessively. Instead, small visual cues and subtle narration communicate her state of mind. This approach keeps the tone warm, accessible, and appropriate for all viewers, while also laying the groundwork for emotional depth. The turning point arrives through an everyday interaction that feels almost insignificant at first. A laundry staff member returns one of Toru's suits. The exchange is polite and routine, reinforcing the sense of normalcy. After the payment is made, Kori is handed a business card that was found in the jacket pocket. It belongs to a woman she does not recognize. The film handles this moment with care, avoiding alarmist reactions. There is no dramatic music swell or sudden confrontation. Instead, it focuses on Kori's expressions. This moment is important, not because of what the card represents, but because of what it triggers emotionally. Kori's unease is quiet, thoughtful, and restrained. She does not leap to conclusions, and the film intentionally avoids framing her response as suspicion or accusation. Instead, it presents a universal emotional response: uncertainty. For many viewers, this scene resonates as a reminder of how easily the mind can wander when information is incomplete. Kori's reaction is not driven by negativity, but by her desire to understand her reality. That emotional challenges do not always arrive loudly. Sometimes they enter quietly, through moments we almost overlook. Kori does not act immediately on the uneasiness left by the business card. When the laundry staff returns again on a later visit, Kori's approach is calm and respectful. She does not accuse or imply wrongdoing. She simply asks for confirmation, phrasing her question carefully, almost cautiously. The staff member confirms that the card was indeed found in Toru's jacket pocket. The scene is handled with remarkable neutrality. There is no emphasis on blame, no implication of intent, only a confirmation of fact. Kori absorbs the information quietly. Instead of reacting impulsively, Kori chooses to observe her own feelings, acknowledging discomfort without letting it define her actions. That evening, Kori calls Toru while he is still away on his business trip. The conversation is simple and warm. She asks how his work is going, where he is, and whether he is eating well. On the surface, it sounds like an ordinary check-in between spouses. Yet the subtext adds emotional depth. Kori is listening not just to his words, but to his tone, his ease, his consistency. Importantly, Kori does not mention the business card during the call. This decision is central to the film's message. It illustrates emotional responsibility, the understanding that not every concern needs to be voiced immediately, and that timing matters. From an educational perspective, this moment cleverly teaches us about self-regulation and the value of gathering clear information before engaging in potentially sensitive conversations. The film neither praises nor criticizes her choice. It simply demonstrates it as a thoughtful act. As the call ends, Corey is left alone with her thoughts once more. Corey reflects not just on the card, but on her marriage as a whole, on Toru's consistency, his kindness, and the shared history they have built together. The next day, Toru returns home earlier than planned, and the film makes a deliberate choice to frame his arrival not as a dramatic reveal, but as a natural continuation of daily life. He carries a small gift for Corey, a simple gesture that immediately shifts the emotional atmosphere. This moment is subtle, yet meaningful, reminding viewers that care is often expressed through consistency rather than grand declarations. As they prepare dinner together, their conversation flows easily, marked by familiarity and shared rhythm. Nothing feels forced. This calm setting becomes important because it contrasts with the tension Corey has been holding internally. The film emphasizes that meaningful conversations often happen not in moments of intensity, but in spaces of safety and comfort. During the meal, Corey chooses to speak. Her tone is gentle and sincere, and the film carefully avoids framing her words as an accusation. Instead, she expresses how she felt confused and uneasy, focusing on her emotions rather than assumptions. This moment models healthy dialogue, showing audiences how to raise sensitive concerns without causing harm or conflict. Toru's response is equally measured. He listens without interruption, his reaction marked by surprise but not irritation. When he finally responds, his explanation is calm and straightforward. He clarifies that the business card was related to work, the result of a brief professional interaction that held no personal significance. There is no attempt to dismiss Corey's feelings or minimize her experience. Instead, he acknowledges how the situation might have appeared and expresses appreciation for her honesty. This exchange becomes the emotional core of the film. Rather than relying on dramatic confrontation, the story finds power in mutual respect. Corey realizes that her unease came not from distrust, but from a lack of information. Toru, in turn, understands the importance of transparency, even in seemingly minor details. The resolution feels earned because it is built on communication rather than coincidence. The film does not position either character as right or wrong. Instead, it presents misunderstanding as a natural part of human relationships, something that can either create distance or deepen connection, depending on how it is handled. Corey felt a sense of relief. This was expressed through subtle gestures, a relaxed posture, a gentle expression, a genuine smile. Corey's willingness to speak honestly and Toru's willingness to listen openly demonstrate that trust is an active process. It requires vulnerability, patience, and empathy from both sides. As the evening settles, the atmosphere in the home feels lighter. The tension that once existed has dissolved, replaced by quiet understanding. She understood that a strong relationship is not defined by the absence of doubt, but by the ability to overcome it together with kindness and clarity. The days that follow are calm in the best way, marked by a subtle but meaningful shift between Corey and Toru. Their routines return, yet their connection feels lighter, strengthened by honest, patient communication. Trust is not restored through a single explanation, but through mutual respect and understanding. Toru becomes more attentive, Corey more reassured, showing that relationships grow through consistent care rather than dramatic gestures. The film avoids overt lessons, allowing meaning to emerge naturally through behavior. In doing so, it gently reminds viewers that strong relationships are built in everyday moments, where empathy, listening, and thoughtful communication transform uncertainty into lasting connection. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who values trust and communication. Subscribe for more thoughtful film stories that explore relationships, emotions, and meaningful life lessons in a positive and inspiring way. Thank you for watching.